start to that. And yeah, to be honest, I kind of figured you probably had already seen it. Um, I just thought when it had I've been looking into my stuff lately, and I've been realizing like I need to like really buckle down um on like making these. So that's why after we do this one, we'll go ahead and watch the other one that like I never watched.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp and Mint Mobile.
Wait, he said this episode is sponsored by. I'll be honest, I thought he said this episode of sponsored by. Like an entire series, entire show called Sponsored by.
That'd be interesting.
I'd probably watch it.
Disney's extraordinary.
Okay, actually, hold on a sec. Before we get into it, I'm gonna kind of like do my like prediction and like how my thought process. Since you've already watched it, we'll just wait to hear like your general feedback till after, I guess. And then but my thought process on this is because like we were talking about this what was it last night, and I realized I never said anything, but so like when it comes to like how I have always seen things and my just general interpretation, I might be I might not be like remembering his name, but so the thing about Stitch, um, well, actually, it's not even so much Stitch per se. It's more of is his name was it Ganju?
Oh, yeah.
That's the
I think
doctor.
No,
Who's the doctor?
Jumbo Jukiba.
Jumba. It was Jumba. That's who it was. Okay, so the thing about Jumba is that and like how I have like understood like his overall scaling like as an intellect in that verse period, and then Stitch himself, and then going forward, they've always outscaled like the entire verse. I'm sorry,
Pretty much, yeah.
all of like so like and that's within his
And
own
it's even more
verse.
obvious
Yeah.
and it's even more obvious considering he's usually stuck with Pleakley.
Yeah, there's that too. But like in terms of like just general intellect in that verse and what he was capable of doing, nothing of that verse was able to really compare. The only thing that really compared was when you had the entire like series where like they were going around getting all the experiments and shit. So the thing that compared was himself. Other than that, like there was even another evil genius in that verse, and he meant nothing to him. Hamsterville, I think it was.
It was Hamsterville.
Yeah, was an absolute trash evil genius in comparison to the sheer intellect that Jumba had.
To be
But
fair, he did make the 627 experiments.
it was
Each one more destructive than the last.
yeah, exactly. That was the whole plan, right? That was the whole like mentality. It's like I don't think this is bad enough. Let's make it worse.
Except for 624, who's a complete coward but great at making sandwiches.
Yep. It's the super failure. But
He's like the exact same thing as Stitch, pretty much, except for he's a coward and he's great at making sandwiches.
so like since we're going against Rocket, like the problem here, like my thought process to where like there's not that much of a comparison is because the Marvel like verse as a whole outscales the Lilo and Stitch verse. So Stitch outscales the Lilo and Stitch verse, but the Marvel verse outscales that verse. Now, in terms of like what the characters are capable of, I don't know all the details of like the stuff with Rocket, but I do know that he has insane intellect.
He
That
does.
that I
You
do.
wouldn't expect so much from a rodent.
Well, that was actually like part of his whole like part of like his whole thing was his intellect. So I don't know. See, like my logic. It's not so much like the Lilo and Stitch's versus fault. Or not, my bad. It's not Stitch's fault specifically. It's the fact that the verse doesn't go up that high. And like I think like if like Stitch was like a Marvel character, we would be having a systematically different story. I think what it is ultimately, because of what I know, I'm expecting Rocket to win. But I would also like, it wouldn't surprise me through like a technicality Stitch winning, because of like how much went into like making him. But like, see like the Stitch, for what it's worth in terms of intellect too, Stitch is actually also really smart. Like that's also not something that's not something to sleep on.
Jumba's intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. That, yeah, he knows how to do literally at least most of what, I mean, like he might not know exactly like how to make like experiments, but he could have probably have been an assistant to help him make the experiments. Is the level of intellect?
If he
Yeah,
doesn't know how, he
yeah,
can pick it up himself.
exactly. With the level of intellect he had, because like I remember that one scene where they were arguing about something, and it was like Jumba, wait, yeah, Jumba had like no like intellectual equal until that argument. And like I can't even remember what they were arguing about. I think
I forgot about that.
I think it had something to do with like the ship or something like that. I can't remember all the details. But yeah, Jumba had no intellectual equal up until that moment. And Stitch was like arguing in like the native language or something like that at the time. I can't quite remember.
Yeah. Of course,
Oh, actually, before we actually play this, I want to show like my recording. If you haven't picked this up, you should pick this up. I need to read the second volume. But I found this at Walmart. This was such an awesome find. It is manga. Let's see if I can adjust this. It is a manga. It probably needs to get closer to my face. It's called Stitch and the Samurai. And I had, as soon as I saw it at Walmart, I had to pick it up. It's pretty.
When you say Stitch.
Yeah, it's yeah. Who we're talking about?
Sweet.
Yeah. So he lands in like Edo period Japan. I'm under the impression, instead of like, you know, landing with Lilo and stuff, but there is a lot of like nuances that it ignored when it came to the movie about Stitch, which some of it kind of bothered me a little, but it wasn't that bad. It's its own fun, unique story. And like, yeah, the volume 2, I saw it at Walmart, but I haven't picked it up yet. But it's definitely more of like a quirkier story. It's funny too because it had so much potential to be very dark, but they decided not to go that way. And it was funny because at the beginning of it is very dark. And then you watch it just become wholesome and silly. But yeah, that was something fantastic. Yeah, other than that, let us get this started.
Just because you're cute and fluffy doesn't mean you aren't the deadliest thing in the universe.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. In the distant reaches of outer space, the mad scientist Jumba Jukiba was accused of illegal genetic experimentation.
He took the galaxy's most fearsome, most dangerous, most absolutely purely black-hearted evil creatures and smushed them all together.
A great man with a vision, persecuted by spineless know-nothing bureaucrats.
The result? Experiment 626, though you can just call him Stitch.
He did not.
I think I'm gonna be sick. Oh, so naughty.
That has to be like next level insult. Like we only have like maybe a couple of words in like our vocabulary as humans to where we're like, yo, you shouldn't be saying that. But we have no words that are so terrible to be strung together that will make someone vomit.
Not only did it make someone vomit, it was a robot.
Yeah, it was a robot that doesn't even have bodily functions. It just learned how to have bodily functions in that moment.
After being slated for termination, Stitch escapes to a distant
I find it
planet.
funny that he's 18 years old and he's hanging out with
I
a
know,
little
right?
girl and we don't question it at all. And I just ruined Lilo and Stitch for everyone.
Oh wait, Earth.
Crash landing in the Hawaiian island of Kauai of all places. There he'd be adopted by the Earth girl Lilo and went incognito as the ugliest dog ever.
And despite his horrific upbringing,
I mean,
Stitch
I don't know about that. Like, pugs exist.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty ugly dogs.
the softer side, a love of Elvis, and a kinship with Lilo, a devil child who didn't fit in, just like him. It wasn't long before Stitch was ready to do anything to protect his new Ohana
That's
from
right.
the alien
He
threats
shot
coming
Punch
to get
Buggy
him.
no
And let
punch
me
back
tell
in
you,
that
as
scene.
a fellow mad scientist, Jumbo really outdid himself here. I've been meaning to dig deeper into Stitch's
Yeah,
piecemeal alien
if I
biology for
remember
years.
correctly, there's actually a theory that they think that like when some people started to like actually like deliberately watch like the behavior of like Lilo and stuff like that, and I think they were thinking that she might have actually been autistic.
Yeah,
And
I remember reading stuff about
yeah,
that.
I was like, that's actually really cool. Makes a lot of sense, and it makes me like her so much more.
Years. First of all, his fluffy exterior is entirely bulletproof, fireproof, and nearly impenetrable.
Yeah, he could rocket
His
himself.
molecular
Yeah.
structure is so dense he can't swim. Sucks he landed in Hawaii of all places.
Stitch can crawl on
And then
walls,
Japan
whisper
in
from
this in
miles
that
away,
book.
and scream so loud he'll blow you to kingdom come.
He's strong enough to lift 3,000 times his own body weight and can spin dash so fast he'll burst into flames.
His eyesight is also incredible. He's got night, X-ray, and infrared vision, and can even zoom in hundreds of times over.
Even better, he can hop loogies like a friggin' machine gun. His spit is conductive enough to short circuit electronics.
Okay, were we just sleeping on the fact that that was clearly that one move from Pokemon? I think Beedrills do it.
Stick objects together like glue and even dissolve solid rock. Oh, and he's somehow a genius too.
Yeah.
The dude knows molecular physics and can build entire mech suits and spaceships out of junk in seconds.
You wouldn't think it from his everything, but Stitch is a genius with a brain comparable to a supercomputer. The world's most powerful supercomputer right now is Hewlett-Packard's Frontier, which can make 1 quintillion calculations a second.
Comparing Stitch to Frontier is frankly a massive lowball.
See, Stitch was programmed to have Jumba's own intelligence, and Jumba's IQ has been compared to that of an entire galaxy combined.
Yeah.
I
When
have
it comes to
conducted my own genetic analysis
like
to determine Stitch's
like I said, when it came to him in the verse of Lilo and Stitch, he outscaled everyone. So like, it's like not comparable. like just
His
him
DNA includes
against
traces
everyone else.
Of the manglioid of Meridian 4, the goo goblin booger beast, the people-eating pus monkey, the deadly disemboweler, the boiling tongue-oid, and the bottom-feeding scum sucker.
Sounds like your ex-wife. Am I right?
No, Wiz, what the hell? That's such a messed up thing to say about her. Be better.
I'm so disappointed in you.
You can make those jokes when you start paying the alimony.
Well, Stitch's incredible buffet of alien DNA is supported by a power cell embedded in his body, fueled by the energy of 2 colliding planets. Huh? Colliding planets! Are you coming back? No?
You.
Okay.
He's got a jetpack, freeze ray, grenades, and a Seismotronic 200, which can make sandwiches gigantic. Oh, and shrink enemies, that's cool too.
Stitch was a one-fluff army, and he proved it when everyone from the Galactic Federation to the dastardly Dr. Hamsterville came to pick a fight with him.
Including all of Jumba's experiments. Yeah, 626 isn't just some random number. There are hundreds of these little bastards running around. More trouble-making cousins to add to his growing ohana.
Though he had to pacify many of them first, like Slushy, who can create a snowstorm that covered all of Kauai.
Or Richter, who can split the Earth in half and shatter planet-busting asteroids.
And Jumba stated that Stitch was the most destructive, unstoppable monster the universe has ever seen. Even more dangerous than Holio, who can create a black hole large enough to consume the entire universe.
Speaking of black holes, in the anime, yes, there's a Lilo and Stitch anime. Stitch once piloted a ship carrying a supernova bomb strong enough to wipe out a galaxy and flew it into a black hole. It and the black hole both exploded on top of him, and he popped out no worse for the wear. You know, like you do.
Okay,
Another
that
time, he
scales.
piloted a
That
ship to a
scales.
different black hole in less than 2 minutes. It's unclear
Never,
exactly
never
what
knew
it
of
was,
the
but
anime.
he
I don't know.
managed
I
to
don't know
see
how much of
stars
that they're
around
incorporating, but
light
that
years.
scales.
That means his ship would have had to have been flying at over 1 million times the speed of light.
And when he's filled with love for his ohana, the power cell inside Stitch surges incalculably. He used this to defeat Dark End, an experiment explicitly made to be stronger than Stitch, who had just defeated 4 Stitch clones on his own.
And Stitch completely annihilated him. He knocked Dark End into outer space so hard he dislodged a city-sized space station. You know, like you do.
He's even managed to worm his way into completely different Disney properties.
Oh, God, we don't have another Deadpool on our hands, do we?
With Stitch around, Lilo, Nani, and the inhabitants of Earth couldn't be safer.
Surf's up for everyone's favorite blue fuzzball of death.
This episode is sponsored
They were
by
probably trying to
BetterHelp.
make
It can
Stitch
be
their
easy to spend
Pikachu.
all your time on your work, your friends, your family. But how much time do you actually spend on yourself?
Therapy can be an
I
incredible
love how
asset to your
their
mental health,
promo
even if you
code
don't
is
think you need it right at this moment. A lot of these problems can be
betterhelp.com/death
on the
battle.
spot without self-reflection or an outside perspective.
Even
It's easy
thinking that.
to accept
Have,
the way we
have
feel.
mental health issues.
Why you
Nothing,
doing it?
nothing will fix it like a good old-fashioned death battle.
Skills, setting boundaries, supporting others without leaving yourself behind.
But in all
are
seriousness,
incredibly
it's
important
okay.
to
Go get
practice
help.
in
If
your
you need
journey
help,
for
go get help.
self-fulfillment.
And in this super busy world, BetterHelp is entirely online and designed to be flexible to your schedule.
All you have to do to start is fill out a brief questionnaire to be matched with a licensed therapist. And if you'd like to make a change, you can switch therapists at any time at no additional charge. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/deathbattle today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/deathbattle.
Somewhere in the Black Mountain Hills of Dakota, there was a young boy named Rocky Raccoon.
Raccoon. Rocket, not Rocky. That's the Beatles song he's named after.
Well, I have wasted a lot of time on some very specific research.
In fact, it's just Rocket. Despite his startling resemblance to the resourceful dumpster diving mammal, Rocket originates from the alien planet Half-World, which served as an asylum for the criminally insane ruled over by alien humanoids.
Along with many of Half-World's cutesy inhabitants, Rocket was subjected to cybergenetic modifications by his overlords.
All with the purpose of being Half-World's warden, Ranger Rocket.
Rocket's mutations make him smarter, stronger, faster, and tougher than your average garbage goblin.
His cybernetic skeleton is connected to artificial vertebrae and neural implants, allowing him to dodge gunfire and laser beams, survive an explosion the size of a city block, and keep up with supervillains like Kraven and Venom.
Alongside pals Lila the Otter and Walrus the... Yeah, Rocket battled the mercenary Blackjack O'Hare and killer clowns and saved the day time and time again. I bet you're wondering what the hell this has to do with Guardians of the Galaxy.
In a convoluted editorial effort to reboot his character, Rocket left Half-World to become a mercenary and had his memories suppressed. After a betrayal by his otter lover, different one, he has a thing for otters, Rocket was sent to jail. Space jail.
And prison changes a man. Gunn was the Saturday morning cartoon character of yore. He was a felon, cynical and hardened by the criminal justice system. The space criminal justice system.
Rocket suffered not only from his penal servitude, but the trauma of his brutal genetic modification.
I like his art
One
design.
sense of
Like,
alienation. It was
I mean,
in
like,
this
there's multiple
personal
different
hell
art
that he
designs,
beat a
but,
bunch of
like,
a-holes who would soon be his new
I like it.
teammates. Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax, and of course, his best pal Groot.
And together they were the Guardians of the Galaxy, defending the free peoples of the cosmos from all manner of alien menace. For a price, of course. Though unlike some of the powerhouses on his team, Rocket's raccoon body is...
I told you he's not a raccoon. He was created on Half-World and is the last of an entire race of raccoon-like aliens. He just happens to look like an Earth raccoon.
Don't lecture me on raccoons, Wiz. I'm an expert. Been fighting the bastards for years. Did you know their tiny little bandit masks are for reducing glare to enhance night vision? They can hear noises as quiet as earthworms digging underground. And about 2/3 of the sensory perception part of their cerebral cortex...
all of those are fat. That guy,
All perfectly suited to
that
a
guy
stealth-
fed those. Let me go back real quick. What the? Those were
noises as quiet as earthworms digging underground.
like that one's chunky, but like no, each one of those ate a whole raccoon before showing up for the scene.
Perception part of their
Like,
cerebral
holy
cortex is
crap,
devoted to their
those
tactile
things are just-
impulses. That's why they grab shit with their tiny little hands.
All perfectly suited to a nimble, stealthy glass cannon like Rocket.
Yeah, cuz he's a raccoon.
As I was saying, Rocket became the team's resident grease monkey, specializing in all things technology and engineering. And fittingly, his specialty in combat is firearms.
Yep, that sounds like my cue, Wiz. Rockets built giant mechs, cobbled together random junk for an improvised flamethrower, and casually slapped together a bomb strong enough to destroy a moon. Oh, and he's got every kind of hand cannon imaginable. Pistols, machine guns, miniguns, rifles, rocket launchers, plasma guns, laser guns, and my favorite, the melon popper, where melon means head and pop means... kabam!
That melon belonged to a Super Skrull, one of the deadliest warriors in the Marvel Universe. With the combined abilities of the Fantastic Four, including the Thing, who survived a blast from the power cosmic that could split a planet in two.
Yeah, Rocket's weapons are crazy, like the Rampart armed phasic cannon, which utilizes cold fusion and could melt
did
the
see.
face off the Mad Titan himself, Thanos.
The same Thanos who is strong enough to survive a supermassive black hole 4 light years across, and came out with only light scratches.
The very same purple Shrek who's battled Universe
Well,
Busters and
well,
beyond
there goes that scaling.
and Odin. If Thanos can walk through attacks from a dude who can shake the multiverse and Rocket's guns can hurt him, I'm gonna need one of those puppies under my pillow ASAP.
And similar weaponry to what rockets use can operate down to the picosecond, which is 1/trillionth of a second.
He can access all of these goodies at any time from his orbital stash, a remote-controlled satellite that'll deliver anything he wants lickety-split.
Rocket can zoom through the sky on his rocket skates, project force fields, teleport with a portable AI, melt through solid metal with acid, and even hack foreign technology.
Anything from a prison to a planet to an entire galactic empire. Rocket's the most dangerous not raccoon who's totally a raccoon in the whole universe.
And he's proven it with the Guardians. He's saved Earth at least 11 times, cured Ego the Living Planet of a lice infestation, and held his own against an entire world trying to kill him all at once.
He even devised a plan that ultimately stopped Dormammu, the Lord of the friggin' Dark Dimension. No wonder Star-Lord called Rocket the greatest tactical mind he's ever met, even if sometimes he has a tendency to run in guns blazing.
Though he'd always be a wisecracking son of a bitch, his time with the Guardians softened his edges. He learned to enjoy life again, and even made it back to Half-World to send that bastard Blackjack O'Hare packing.
And even though he clearly is one, whatever you do, don't call him a raccoon, because there's nowhere in the galaxy to hide from this gun-toting mother flarker.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Mint Mobile.
It's no surprise, inflation is everywhere. There's no escaping it. And if you're looking for a break, look
I was
no
kind of
further
hoping
than
they'd
Mint
actually
Mobile.
manage to get
The
Ryan
first
Reynolds
company
for
to sell
this.
a premium wireless service
That'd be
online.
amazing.
Like they just call, like it's on a call using Mint Mobile, maybe.
$15 a month.
That kind of low price is exactly what we all need in a time when everything is just getting more and more
It would also be funny if like
It isn't sorcery.
the entire
Going
ad
online
is
only
just
and
about
getting ready
Ryan
to
not
cash
having
out
any
cost
idea
retail.
who's calling
Mint
him.
Mobile can pass those savings on to you.
all All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Better yet, you can keep your current phone number and contacts, so switching over is no big deal.
To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/deathbattle.
That's mintmobile.com/deathbattle.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Yes.
Is there an umbrella in the volcano?
You smashed my ship, Flark Face! What did you say about my mother? You disgust me. That's it. Gonna need a bigger gun. Come to Papa. I guess you could call this my Thanos Buster. It's hunting season now, Buzzball. Huh? You gotta be kidding me.
Ooh. Okay, that's uncalled for.
Double KO! You know, brutally murdering Ice Cream Guy wasn't necessary, Wiz, but I felt it was an artful touch.
Though similar in many ways, Stitch and Rocket's fighting styles were polar opposites.
Stitch was more than strong enough to tear Rocket apart physically, while Rocket's guns were powerful enough to kill people even stronger than Stitch. So the question was simple. If both of them only needed one hit to win, who would get the killing blow first?
It all came down to speed. Rocket has dodge lasers, and his guns could operate down to the picosecond, 1/trillionth of a second.
But Stitch's supercomputer brain could operate down to the quintillionth of a second, a million times faster, at minimum.
And his ability to pilot that ship at over 1,000,000 times the speed of light meant that he more than had the reaction speed to dodge anything Rocket threw at him.
Rocket's tactical brilliance meant he could keep Stitch at bay with tricks for a while, but he couldn't reliably seal the deal. Despite being a little blue goblin, Stitch usually stays level-headed in a fight, whereas Rocket can be way more impulsive.
And frankly, Stitch is probably even smarter considering he has the combined IQ of an entire galaxy.
One slip up from Rocket is all Stitch would need to end the fight.
Rocket's arsenal was absolutely bonkers, to be sure, but Stitch's superior speed, physical strength, and unbelievable intelligence gave him the win.
Looks like this Rocket's blasting off again!
The winner is... What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, there's a fucking turkey here, too! Where's he gonna leave the turkey behind?
The winner is Stitch.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, we have a new death battle releasing every 2 weeks this year. And click the join button to get new perks and extra content. Planet level members even see death battles before anyone else, so don't miss out.
Really? That's the next death battle? Vader versus Obito? That seems like a random pull.
Yep.
I gotta say, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yep. When I didn't really know shit about Rocket before this, but I knew a decent amount about Stitch because I grew up with Lilo and Stitch stuff like a lot of people our age.
Mm-hmm.
But I was hoping for Stitch, but I didn't know who would win. So I'm glad Stitch won.
For me, it was like I like that I think that was actually probably why like I felt like weird about making an overall decision. I was leading a Rocket, and like if I would have had to have made a decision, I definitely would have said Rocket at the beginning of this. But like I think like when they had wrapped it up and explained the reasoning, like they made it clear like it was about like they both had the potential to kill each other. Who's going to be the one to do it though? And like to me, that's fair because like they like with the information that they provided us, like they show like when it came to the black hole thing, that really showed like the overall like durability feat. And then when it came to Rocket being able to like destroy several times over black hole shit, that got rid of that durability feat. But like if he's not doing it fast enough, I mean like but then again, it's no different than Rocket fighting literally anyone else because like like in like the Marvel verse, like the big heavy hitters, like out of the gate, like if the heavy hitter wanted to just like obliterate Rocket, that's gonna happen. The main reason why it doesn't is because a bunch of narrative reasons, and then all the technology that comes into play over the course of time, right? The story element is the reason why like things aren't ending right out of the bat. And that happens with like a lot of things when pretty much like if like Batman's going up against like, Darkseid or some shit like that, it's like when someone clearly outscales them, you use your narrative stuff for that. But with this, there really isn't a narrative thing. But when they mentioned picosecond, I had no idea like the difference in speed between a picosecond and that of a supercomputer. I'll be honest, like if you had told me or had asked me, my guess, I would have assumed that a picosecond was faster. But I wasn't, I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't disappointed at all. And like, to me, it was like a very fair shake. I also like this kind of fight because they're both really similar to each other in terms of like characters. That's why I think like the next fight is going to be kind of weird with Vader and Obito. Why are we? What are we doing here? It was another reason why I had an issue with like and I'll keep mentioning this until like I did the day I die probably. Why I had an issue with like the Deadpool versus Deathstroke thing is just because the one character was inspired off of the other character doesn't mean these characters are like each other. So like that was like my initial problem with that. But this is probably, if this isn't my favorite, this was probably one of my favorite fights.
Oh, I can understand that.